Hello and welcome. Bullguard, Total Defense, malware. This is what we're going to do today, is testing those two products. Okay, so today's test is going to be a little bit different than normal. I've already disabled all the protection, extracted all the malware, got Process Explorer and Task Manager open to see if it does actually save times and will maybe make the videos a bit shorter. So on the left we've got Bullguard, and on the right we've got Total Defense. I just want to see if the malware quantity is actually the same. If there's maybe one or two malware difference, I'm not going to worry about it. Okay, the malware quantity is exactly the same, so that's good. Okay, so on the left Bulldog, on the right Total Defense. Okay, so let's maybe quickly check for updates on Bullguard while we're here. Let's have a look at the settings. So under main, self-protection is enabled, antivirus is disabled, but we'll enable that now. Actions is fix the file, display pop-ups. Tuning is scan into archives, and we've excluded Process Explorer. The reason for that is I did test Bullguard on its own the other day, but I didn't actually record the video I wanted to test, and during the test Bullguard did actually eventually close the Process Explorer. So this is pre-knowledge that I have, so I'm just see if it's going to help. Okay, miscellaneous, everything is enabled except for the last access timestamp. Safe browsing is enabled. Under firewall, so on the firewall everything's enabled, and the security as well. Okay, let's see how far that update is. Okay, I think it did actually finish the update. Okay, so we'll look at Total Defense settings here. Application control and auto scan is enabled. We created a custom setting. Auto disinfect and treat suspicious files. Auto scans are enabled, on demand scans are enabled. CPU load, we're going to change that to medium. Download scanners are enabled. In archive application control set to high. Everything's enabled, and I'm going to try performance mode, not sure if it's actually going to help. No exclusions, no application exclusions. Web protection, everything is on, so you guys can see. Let's apply that. Okay, settings applied. Let's check for updates quickly. Okay, Total Defense is up to date. Okay, Process Explorer is open. So on Process Explorer, we'll submit the samples as well. Okay, so Bullguard is up to date. Okay, submit the samples. Okay guys, I think we're ready to test. Both of them are up to date. Okay, antivirus. Oops. Antivirus, we're going to enable it, and we're going to select maximum security. Okay, so maximum security is enabled. Okay, maximum security is enabled. Okay, antivirus protection is enabled. Okay, let's just make sure. Maximum protection. Okay, cool. So everything is on maximum. Okay guys, so let the test begin between these two. Okay, let's see who gives our first pop-up. Oh, I think there's another setting on Total Defense I can enable. Boop. Yeah, there goes Process Explorer, guys. Exactly the same that I did on my initial test. And notifications, yeah, there's another option here to say all. Okay, so hopefully it gives us a bit more notifications during the tests. Okay, so Bullguard is already blocking malware. Total Defense hasn't said anything yet, so we'll keep an eye on that. Process Explorer is dead. Okay, I'm not gonna restart now, obviously. I'll restart at the end. Okay guys, so we're back. The tests on Total Defense took quite some time to execute, but it was like a slow and steady, no real problems. You guys would have noticed that very few things I had to attend to on the Total Defense. So far I'm quite impressed, but we'll obviously see at the end. But so far not a lot of things open, only 2 things are running, and it's because I left the one open. So if I'm going to close it, the 2 should be out of memory. Cool. So currently no, there's nothing. It's only the one file, but nothing malicious. It wanted to restart to remove malware, so I'm going to do that. I'm going to reboot Bullguard as well. There was an issue or 2 where obviously Bullguard I think did reboot it maybe 3 times, so I had to restart tests. So what I did is I split the malware, so in the group that I maybe thought that the malware was causing the reboot, I took it out so that I can just execute the last bit of malware. So I waited for that to be executed and I copied back the other malware, and now I'm executing the last bit of malware. This thing is still running, but as you can see the machine is getting slow again, and the last time when it got so slow it randomly restarted. So I'll see if that's going to be the case again. So I'm just attending to these last messages. I think there's maybe another 100 or maybe 200 malware still left to go. Then I'm going to restart this machine, but for now let me just reboot this one so that Total Defense can maybe get rid of the malware. Okay guys, so Bullguard's also done. It's now just re-executing the old malware, because I took note of where the last malware was. So I'm just going to attend to these last pop-ups. Total Defense is still coming up. Okay, let me attend to this and I'm going to quickly restart Bullguard. Okay guys, so the third-party opinion scans are finally done. So let's have a look see at Bullguard first. Okay, so as you can see, there's a bit of malware in the temporary file locations, and then on the desktop again, and then temp files, again, desktop, temp files. Okay, so, and also program files, something installed, and app data. So not a complete clean slate for Bullguard so far. Northern Power Eraser, 15 problems, 2 severities are high for app data, and then medium issues are also app data. And then in public for MCsoft, program files, obviously the same thing that installed, and under app data, only a little bit. The majority of malware is on the desktop. Okay, so then two public, so these are auto runs, and then system32, and then one registry entry. Malware bytes, location, program files, a bit, app data, quite a bit under app data. Okay, then obviously all the malware on the desktop so far. Okay, so then a couple of registry entries, quite a bit of registry entries, and then a master boot sector error. So one rootkit, so that's bad. You guys know, obviously rootkits are difficult to get off the machines. So yeah, quite a bit of infection on the Bullguard. Process Explorer is not opening. I think it might be Bullguard that's blocking it. Let's see if it opens now. Yeah, while we wait for that, let's look at the startup items. Both of these machines have already restarted. So whatever's in startup is in startup. Oh, and then also the quick scan didn't find any malware, so we did the quick scan at 9, so 0 objects found. We didn't do full scans due to time constraints. Startup, one item there, these two, that one, and then these programs, and yeah, a couple of startup items. So I don't think Bullguard passed this test. I think it failed, didn't do that well. Let's try Process Explorer. Okay, so Total Defense is a different story. I'm actually quite impressed with Total Defense. Let's have a look see at Hitman Pro. So cookie, malware, that's on the desktop, but let's go back to the top. Okay, a lot more entries, but it's because Total Defense didn't actually remove a lot of the mails in the folder when it was executing. It seems like it was just blocking it. So there's still malware on the desktop, a lot of it. So we'll look here. As you guys know, the trick is just to see if the location changes. Okay, so far nothing. And I've seen the startup items on Bullguard because every time when the machine rebooted, There's a couple of things starting up, a couple of command prompts. Okay, so far nothing. Okay, so then obviously just the one cookie, so Hitman Pro didn't pick up anything. And Bullguard, obviously we still get malware notifications. Look at the startup, nothing in startup. Nothing running in memory. Also during the test I think there was only one malware, but it was duplicated inside the memory. The times when Process Explorer was working, there was quite a bit of malware running. So Bullguard had a bit of a hard time getting rid of the malware. So let's look at MCsoft location. So as you can see, I'm changing the locations from high to low, and the location's not changing, so there is nothing else outside of the desktop malware folder. But I'll just show you guys. As you guys can see, no malware anywhere else. Okay, Norton Powder Razor says the machine is clean, and then unfortunately I couldn't do a scan of Malwarebytes. It's just not opening. After I did the update, it's a new update, it seems now 4.4.10, it was fine, and I checked again for updates and it found updates, and it was just stuck on installing updates. I've tried to quit it, open it, you can see it loads a little bit and then nothing happens. So yeah, then it just dies. So unfortunately I can't do a scan of Malwarebytes. It means I need to restart the VM and run a test of Malwarebytes. So I'm just gonna skip Malwarebytes because Hitman Pro didn't find anything, MCsoft didn't find anything, Norton Power Razor didn't find anything, and even if Malwarebytes did find something, obviously it would have found a lot of malware on the desktop, but I highly doubt that Malwarebytes would have been able to find anything else. And even if it did, I think the quantities would be so low, because by these scans alone we would have had an indication if the machine was like Bullguard or not. So I think Total Defense did actually really well. It's one of the first products. It's actually the first time I've tested it, and I'm already impressed. Bullguard, I know about it. Total Defense is still fairly new to me, but so far Total Defense really impressed me. It did really well. Not once did restart, where I had about 3 or 4 restarts with Bullguard. No reboots. I barely attended to any malware. Now and then an Excel sheet opened or a zip file, but I just managed to stop everything. Bullguard kept me busy when I had to execute a lot of things. So Total Defense, in my opinion, did really well. As you guys can see, nothing in the startup compared to Bullguard. Yeah, it's a day and night difference. So Bullguard, I think, did not really pass this test. I know it was a lot of malware, but we've seen other vendors do better. At least there is no ransomware infection. Documents are untouched. There's just that one batch file there, and our pictures are still intact, so that's a good sign. But I'll just reload that machine if it was my personal machine. Let's have a look. The only downside I can maybe say about Total Defense is it is pretty high on CPU. It is pretty high on the CPU side, but otherwise, so yeah, as you guys can see, there is, let me just expand that quickly. Okay, so let's look at, we can look at the desktop. No funny things on the desktop. Obviously Process Explorer is still working, downloads are fine, documents, no funny batch files. Yeah, so as you can see, no funny batch files in the documents. Pictures are untouched, no unnecessary files, nothing. So I would say it's Total Defense actually did really well. Between these two, I think it's clear who the winner is. But otherwise, guys, let us know what you thought about this video, and if you're also impressed with Total Defense, and if any of you are using total defense and how you guys find it on a daily basis. But for this test, it did really well. We'll obviously retest Bullguard and total defense in the near future. We'll obviously test them again. But otherwise, guys, thanks for watching. Subscribe if you do like our content and the work that we do. It takes a lot of time to make these videos and testing and editing, but we do love making these videos. Otherwise, I'll see you guys soon in the next one.